From Fox 8, this is a special report.
Right now, police are searching for a juvenile inmate who escaped while being taken to court this morning. This is the third time Curtis Tassin escaped custody. Good evening, I'm Meg Gatto.
And I'm Lauren McCoy. Although the state refused to identify the suspect, a law enforcement source confirmed his identity to Fox 8.
David Jones is live at the Juvenile Justice Center with the latest.
Yeah, Lauren and Meg, look, the state has not said much other than the escapee's age and the fact that he's from New Orleans. All the other information we're reporting is from our sources. A law enforcement source confirmed to Fox 8 this afternoon the escapee's name, Curtis Tassin. This photo that we're going to show on your screen is from our previous reporting on another of Tassin's escapes. And that was when Tassin, along with 4 other teens, escaped from the state's Bridge City Center for Youth last summer. Now, this is Tassin's third escape in 2 years. In 2021, Tassin also escaped from the Swanson Correctional Facility near Monroe. State police have offered assistance to the state's Office of Juvenile Justice, but we have not been able to confirm whether OJJ accepted that offer for help. New Orleans police said they're searching for Tassin after he escaped from a transport van here at the Juvenile Justice Intervention Center. He reportedly escaped on foot. Tassin was being transported by the state's Office of Juvenile Justice from the Acadiana Center for Youth in St. Martinsville. Attorney General Jeff Landry says this search shows the need for reform and transparency in the juvenile justice system and pointed to current legislation making its way through the Senate that he says would do just that.
That law would allow the public to have access to those minute entries and some of that information. It is the best way right now at a time when we literally have a juvenile crime epidemic sweeping many of the cities, major cities here in Louisiana.
And back out here live, there's not much of an active search presence here in the area around the Juvenile Justice Intervention Center. We'll continue to press the state for more answers. For now, reporting live at the JJIC, David Jones, Fox 8, local.